let's just say that it was just like Florida. You can own and conceal carry in New York City. Motherfuckers ain't shooting people like that out there like that. It just won't happen. People getting stabbed on the subway and people watching and getting away because they don't have a gun to help. That shit ain't sliding, bro. If a motherfucker is stabbing somebody or victim in front of me, I'm blasting this motherfucker, bro.
You think that in a city that's already dealing with gun crime, you think that the answer is to put 9 million guns in the city? That's what you think? 9 million guns, just everybody have a gun. Hey, here, have you turned 10?
People would think twice about coming out here trying to shoot niggas and rob niggas, I'll tell you that much. New York City, Doughboy. I heard that y'all boys is popping it off. It's a hot boy summer for real in New York City. You guys are out there shooting it up the blocks with mad AKs and pistols and shit. As someone who lives in New York City, can you tell me what it is to walk around all day worrying about you getting shot?
I don't think it's that bad. I think the news, especially around election time, does a very good job at especially sensationalizing the murders and stuff like that. I do believe that maybe crime's getting worse in New York, and there's definitely what I was saying earlier with the subways, people getting stabbed and people getting pushed onto the tracks, that becoming a more normal thing. You got homelessness and mental illness, and
that
then just straight
wild.
up,
that's normal
straight up
to you.
Yeah, it's just straight up gang activities, and really, just happened this week, a few days ago. A hitman trying to shoot his target. The target fell on top of some kids, and the guy just kept shooting.
That was in New York?
That was in New York.
I saw that on World Latin Star. Buddy just started blasting, bro. Why y'all laughing?
Kids.
That's where I saw that.
That's just a funny for the people listening. World Latin Star is a play on another website called World Star, where just a bunch of random shit gets posted that happens in the hood, and shit that people in the hood are interested in. And then World Latin Star is basically the same thing, except they post a lot of women shaking their ass to reggaeton as well. So that's how those
that's not what we're there for, though. We're not there for that. We're there for the intel.
He reads the articles.
Tony's there for the articles.
So yeah, you got a lot of different instances. I would say gun crime, it's up.
That's crazy. And don't y'all have a law where unless you're a store owner or you own a home, you can't have a gun?
Yeah. No, guns are still here though. You still get a lot of guns in New York, and you would be very surprised where guns are at.
This is what I tell niggas all the time, right? They'd be like, "What?
You're just wrong, but go ahead."
And this is what I tell people. This man did a preemptive strike. This is what I tell people all the time. You want to get rid of guns. People can still get guns. Whether it's legally or illegally, we can still get guns. If people in New York, let's just say that it was just like Florida. You can own and conceal carry in New York City. Motherfuckers ain't shooting people like that out there like that. It just won't happen. People getting stabbed on the subway and people watching and getting away because they don't have a gun to help. That shit ain't sliding, bro. If a motherfucker is stabbing somebody or victim in front of me, I'm blasting this motherfucker, bro.
You think that in a city that's already dealing with gun crime, you think that the answer is to put 9 million guns in the city? That's what you think? 9 million guns, just everybody have a gun. Hey, here, have you turned 10?
People would think twice about coming out here trying to shoot niggas and rob niggas, I'll tell you that much.
Tony, I've got a question for you. With the coronavirus pandemic that went through last year, do you think that we could have solved coronavirus faster if instead of developing a vaccine, we just got live samples of coronavirus and we just injected everyone in the country with it? we solved the problem by giving more of the problem to everyone.
Herd immunity. A lot of people were saying that. Oh, let's let everybody get sick.
Because that's what the gun thing reminds me of.
So I'm going to go down
this. We got a gun problem in this country. If we give everyone guns, we don't got a gun problem anymore.
I'm going to go down this hole, and as the one of the co-hosts on this podcast, I'm always the one to go down the hole where no one wants to go. That's fine. Yeah, give everybody the fucking COVID, the live sample, right? Yeah, let's do that. And then what's going to happen? Half the population is going to be gone. Mm-hmm. The other half of the population got the immunity, right? This is what your theory is saying. Yeah, let's do it then. And everybody, if you're alive, cool. Hey, yeah. No, that sounds stupid, Mateo. That's fucking retarded. Guns and COVID is two different things, my G. Like, everyone who has a gun, I'm not gonna rob somebody because I think this motherfucker might go to in Texas.
Wait, is that all that stops you from robbing someone? Is you think that dude might have a gun?
No, this is an example. Like in Texas,
in Florida, so he would have been robbing everybody left and right, but because there's so many guns, he's kept in check.
In Texas, almost everybody out there probably got a gun in Texas. Oh, I would say like 88% of the community out there got guns in Texas. Maybe
I don't think it's that high. I think that there's a lot of people that have multiple guns in Texas. I think Texas probably has the most guns in the country.
Like ownership, right?
Yeah, like the most. It's probably the highest percentage ownership too. But I don't think it's as high as everyone makes it out to be.
Friend of the show, Adam. If you're gonna watch this, tell me if everybody had a gun in Texas, right? And some idiot wants to try to go out there and cause chaos and try to shoot somebody within 5 feet or whatever will have a gun. It might put them down. If I'm wrong,
as a brown guy in America, here's my take on it. Let's say I'm carrying my gun, I've got it on my hip, and some dude starts some shit. He starts shooting at the store or something. I shoot this guy, take him out or whatever. I'm in the firefight with him. How the fuck are the cops that are showing up gonna realize that I am not I'm not the active shooter? Like what is
okay?
How does this scenario play out? Because this I've got so many questions about things like this. Because I feel like as a brown man in America carrying a gun, I'm just putting myself more at risk of getting shot by the cops.
It's going to be like in the Kingsman where everybody's killing each other in the church. It's like one guy's going to take out their gun and shoot, and everybody's going to active shooter. And they're going to start shooting that guy, but other people are going to see they took out their gun. And then everybody, everybody's going to be shooting each other left and right is exactly what will happen. Tony's high off his ass if he thinks that putting more guns in the hands of people is going to somehow make the society safer.
Yeah, that's what plays out of my head. There was a shooting in Austin recently, downtown in Austin.
Really?
And apparently, like what I heard, I haven't looked into it too much. What I heard is it was two groups of dudes, and I think it might have been gang related, it might not have been, but these two guys they started shooting at each other, and not a single one of their bullets hit the other person. They just shot a bunch of fucking bystanders because that's what happens with guns. Like, the collateral damage is probably what's going to happen more than you actually it's like when you're defending the concept of defending your house, right? You are more likely if you're trying to do home defense, you're more likely to injure an own member of your tribe, your family, than to actually successful defend yourself.
I would say you're not trained properly.
Maybe not, but is there a requirement for training to own a gun in this country?
There is, and there should be a better one. There should be stricter.
Is there a requirement to own a gun in this country?
Tony, I would say that I would say that the other 2A people that have that state of mind would argue that there shouldn't be a requirement for training because it's a right. And once you start putting requirements for training, once you start putting requirements for money and certifications and things like that, it's no longer a right. It becomes a privilege.
Okay. It is a privilege to also own a gun. All right. So I'm a firm believer, right? I own a gun, multiple guns. I am also a concealed carry. I don't think guns need to be stripped away from anybody. But I also do think there should be a little bit maybe stricter guidelines on these weapons that you can just have access to, right? Because it's really easy for Slim Dick, Joe, and Mary to go and get a gun. It's pretty fucking easy, right? And I think there should be a little bit more stricter guidelines or something to do it. I'm not saying, oh, without training you can't own a gun. I'm saying, no, let's if I'm already a gun owner, I want to go buy a gun. That's already I did what I had to do, whatever. But there should be some type of thing where it would help you and educate you. Not saying that, oh, if you don't get this training, you're not getting a gun. No, we're here to educate you on properly loading and using a gun, so that way you won't shoot yourself or hurt others. Like Doughboy can go to fucking Walmart or not Walmart. Used to be able to go to Walmart and buy a fucking shotgun back in the days. The shit was wild. An 18-year-old would just go and buy a fucking shotgun.
Well, I mean, he's in New York, so he can't do that anyway.
Well, no, yeah. But all right, in Florida, if he wanted to go buy a gun, he can go buy a gun. Just a background check and whatever. And I'm pretty sure his background check's gonna clear pretty fine. It's just like you can go and buy a gun, and then in a week or two you'll get it, and it's proven it's yours. It's just that easy. Like me, I could get it the same day because I have my license and I already did my proper things. But it's just, I think there should be for first beginners or new people getting a gun, there got to be some guidelines. There's got to be something that helps prevent stupid shit from happening.
So I had a question because you said something that I thought was completely wrong. You said that you need a license to have a gun.
No. I have a concealed carry license too.
No, you have. It sounded like earlier you're like, yeah, you already need documents or whatever to have a gun. Like
you got to do a background check and because if you was already you a felon, you can't have a gun. You will not get a gun. They will not sell you a gun. So there's checks that they do, and I think you pay for that too out of pocket, if I'm not mistaken, in some states, right, Mateo? I don't know how it is in Texas.
I believe you do. I think you do have to pay out of pocket for the background check. I know that Adam has told me that part of the problem, like that he thinks with gun control, is that there is not a something with the background checks. Like the background check systems, like they don't automatically sync up. A lot of them are still like paper trails and like there's
like they're not up to date.
Yeah, there's outdated infrastructure. Like we have the ability now where we could have these databases easily communicate with each other, but because they're interagency databases and things they're checking, there's a lot of there's the potential for misses in that.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, freaking going back to New York though, where you're saying that you think if more people had guns, so I guess I don't totally disagree with your point, but I think it's too focused and too small, like too small. Not like trying to offend you, but like too small. Like the scope is too little.
Simple.
Yeah, like you're not thinking about like what you're really saying. I think, because while I don't disagree that if everybody in New York City had a gun, robberies would probably decrease. Like people would be like, all right, I'm probably not gonna just try to like rob a guy because the guy might have a gun, he might try to shoot me, you know what I'm saying? And maybe other people see him, maybe someone will try to step in, right? Like I totally could see that logic and someone not wanting to do those types of things. But then you're ignoring the fact that like, well, now you have all these guns in the cities, and like what effect does that have now? Like now there's gonna be a bunch of people like trying to steal each other's guns to like, have like guns that are now untraceable to go and commit some act with. You're going to have a whole bunch of people committing suicides with their guns. And you're going to have a hell of a lot more people injuring themselves with guns, shooting people when they shouldn't have shot people. And like, you're just going to increase all the, like the bullshit that happens when people have guns is just going to increase a lot just because you're increasing the numbers of people having guns. I think like you might solve that one problem, but if without looking holistically at how does that solution affect other things, then like you realize I personally don't think that just pumping guns into New York City is going to fix the gun problem.
I would be curious how that would play out too. Like, would we actually see less instances of like robbery and burglary? Or would people just go in shooting? Like, they have guns, so it's no longer a question of, oh, they might have a gun. Let me be sneaky about this. Or would they just go in shooting? You just break someone's window, shoot them in the fucking face, and like grab shit and run. Like, would you just be like, fuck it, they got a gun?
You know what also would happen, and maybe it might be a bad idea. and this is me going against my own shit, is all these fucking dickhead cops in New York City that wears normal fucking clothes and don't properly show their fucking badge, they will get blasted real fucking quick. This is, you know what's crazy to me? If you're a fucking cop, you need to have better uniform. New York City cops is bugged out with just wearing regular fucking trench coats and shit. By the way, I like his tank top or his tank top shirt. I don't know what that is in the back.
Yeah, that design on the back is cool. I like that design a lot.
Fortune. Stand up. What is this dick shit? His fortune teller. What's it say at the bottom?
Last call company.
That's pretty dope. All right, you're good. That's an issue to me because Doughboy told me that these New York cops, they just walk around with normal clothes and just pull up on you. If everyone owned a gun, those cops won't be doing that. Or
is it going to make the line between cops and like private citizens like even more tenuous and fractured? Because the cops claim that the reason why they shoot people and things like that is because they had a gun, we didn't know he had a gun, blah blah blah, right? If you know everyone's got a gun, does that mean they're going to be even more scared and more prone to shooting whenever they pull over people? You sneeze when the cops like asking for your driver's license. They're like, he's going for the gun.
I mean, does that happen now? I mean, look at Florida, look at Texas, look at all these gun states. Like, does that happen now?
I mean, some would argue, yeah. A lot of people are getting shot for having a cell phone or a beeper back in the day.
And that's because the cop's a dick. Because the cop is nervous and
for trained killers, like these guys are really fucking nervous. Like they're really scared of people. It's really strange.
We really gotta get this going with the guest in calls or whatever. I can have it easily where I can have my phone connected to my shit and we can do a guest call because I really want to talk to certain people like cops or people to see what their views are. And obviously my cousin, is a cop. Isaac is a cop. So there are some points that he made in our last episode when we were talking about the gun thing and all that. And he said some shit to where it was on our side, but at the same time not. He agreed that turnaround by the fence that kid did, he said that shit was a little too early, but he has some views, and as a cop and as what he does day to day, it would be great to have him on the show one day and we can do this because we like there's a guns Tony, is simple. Everyone's nervous around a gun. Me having a gun and going to Pucho's house or his mother's house, he's already nervous with me just being in that house with a gun.
And that's just him knowing you have it somewhere on your person. What if you just had that strapped to your fucking side, cowboy style?
Oh, you mean open carry?
Yeah,
that's beast. In Texas, you can do
how
that.
About Texas now is permitless carry.
Texas, that's a thing. When I Walmart, you could just walk around with a fucking gun on your hip, which is just wild, crazy shit to me.
Now it's permitless. Now you don't even. Before you needed a concealed carry license to kind of do this type of stuff. Now you don't need anything. You just purchase a gun at your local gun shop, which is everywhere in Texas, and then you get your gun and you just walk around with it.
Mm-hmm. What about ARs?
It's like the fucking Wild West for real.
Can you have the sling, like an AR with a sling on it, and just walk around too?
I want to say you can. I think it's constitutional carry. I think it's just straight open carry, man. I haven't looked into it. I'm not a gun dude. There's not a single firearm in this household.
I can only imagine there's people on YouTube that do these things. They walk around city purposely being recorded with ARs on their back, and they're just walking like a normal thing, and people call the cops pull up and they start questioning, interrogating, why are you doing it? It's like, it's my right, I can do this as long as there's not one in the chamber. I can do this and sure enough, some of the cops, they didn't know that. That blows my mind too, because that some cops don't know that a civilian can do that. So
I'm gonna start walking around with a backpack full of just beer bottles filled with gasoline and some fabric in them, and be and just see if people freak out, and I'd be like, why are you freaking out? It's just it's
my candle. It's my candle.
Why would you think that just because I got a backpack full of Molotovs, I'm gonna go start some shit?
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
I think it's wild.
I'm pretty sure constitutional carry is also legal in most states, like rifles and stuff like that. You could just carry them around,
That's so weird to see, though, too, man. Like, could you imagine me just walking into Walmart with my M4 and just, I'm gonna just get here. I'm here for milk and Oreos and just walk. People would be freaking the fuck out.
Now, I think once you go into private property, it gets different.
Yeah,
so you can't just walk into the Walmart. That's not really public. So.
Although I don't think Walmart gives a fuck. I think Walmart is definitely on the side of like, you're gonna come here and spend money. We don't care. We don't care. You barely got to wear like a shirt and shoes in this store. We think we care if you got an assault rifle strapped to you.